So this is probably one of the most important videos that I'm putting out this year because it will help you avoid damage that took me a long time to learn how to avoid, even though it's really simple. So guys, there is one product in the detailing world that people talk about all the time, and I have talked about it a lot of times as well, and it can be extremely dangerous for very specific areas of the car where you're damaging things without even knowing that you're damaging them, and I want to make sure that you don't fall prey to that. But before I get into that, if you have not heard, on May 11th, which is very, very close now, we are going to be hosting a live training via Zoom. It's totally free, and I'm going to be teaching you guys how to scale your detailing business to 6 figures using ceramic coatings and paint correction specifically. So I'm not going to be talking about hands-on training necessarily. I'm talking about the business training. How do you bring in customers online? What's the C3 method that brings in ceramic coating customers who want to pay you money, who are ready for coating so you don't have to sell them? How do you do this without a garage, without a mobile unit? And how do you do it without spending a ton of money in paid ads? You can use free platforms online to do this. It's exactly what I used my first year scaling my ceramic coating business to over $8,400 per month. So I only do this about once a year. It's been basically a year since I did this last. Make sure you use the link in the YouTube description box to register your spot. Now let's get back into the video. So Super Clean Degreaser is one of my favorite products of all time, but it also has a lot of drawbacks. And I've actually coined this term, burning the paint, not in terms of paint correction, but in terms of chemically burning the paint. And I want to share with you guys the #1 area where this happens. So when you are washing an older vehicle, specifically that has darker paint, what people don't realize as detailers is that that paint often is at least subtly oxidized. So even if you don't have a bunch of cloudiness on the paint where it's obviously oxidation, it is probably still there at some level, and it'll begin to show itself more over the next year, 2 years, right? These are generally cars that, again, are like 10 years old or older, maybe even a little under that, and they're generally black, dark blue, even sometimes dark red, not always white or like tan or silver. So most times dark colored cars that sit outside, they're not necessarily garage kept. Well, oftentimes one of my favorite ways to clean bugs or just all the nastiness on the front grille of a car is by diluting a stronger product like Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner or Super Clean Degreaser, even like 10-to-1 and 20-to-1, spraying it on the front area, agitating with a little bit of a detail brush or even just some microfiber towels, and then blasting off that area. But maybe some of you have noticed this, maybe some of you have not noticed this. Oftentimes what you'll find when you've cleaned that area in the way I just described and you wash it off and it dries, you'll actually see a kind of etched in stain on the paint that is in the same pattern as the spray pattern of the product from the spray bottle that you just applied. Oftentimes this happens kind of mid to lower top of the hood because what we did was spray the product, and while the paint was wet and stuff beforehand, it doesn't really matter because we went straight to the front grille area and we didn't really touch the top half of the hood because that's not most of the time where a bunch of bugs are, maybe at the very front of the hood, but not the top area exactly. So that chemical just sat there as we cleaned it and then we rinsed it off. Well, subtly oxidized paint that you can't necessarily tell is totally oxidized is the most vulnerable to etching from a product like this in the way I just described. And unless you've done it before, you might not have even noticed that you've done it because it's very, very subtle. So quick disclaimer, I love products like Super Clean, but there are many applications where I've kind of replaced it for other things when I'm in situations like that. There are safe situations to use this. Often it's on newer vehicles, at daily driver newer vehicles that paint, again, is not totally oxidized. But in situations where it is, I've often replaced this product with something like a specific road tar remover. Of course, the one that I'm highlighting here is from Shine Supply. It's called Whole Shot, and I really like it. It's ready to use, but it can also kind of be diluted, I've noticed. Like, let's call it 2-to-1, 1-to-1, and it works really, really well on areas like that. I do like the specific road tar cleaners cleaning those front areas because they tend not to chemically burn the paint in the same exact way. Now, there are a few other areas I want to highlight to make sure you guys are aware where this happens. Generally, it's because you get overspray on the paint or on the area that you're not cleaning, but that's around the area that you're cleaning on those darker colored, subtly oxidized paint. And other than the front grille area, this can happen when you're cleaning wheels and wheel wells and tire sidewalls. Again, you get a little bit of that Super Clean Degreaser, especially if it's full strength, around that fender well, for example, and then it sits there in the sun or in the heat, and you're cleaning the wheel and the tire and the wheel well, rinsing it off, and then you only see it after the detail is done. Oh my gosh, I've got this spray pattern on this part of the paint, and I'm gonna have to polish it if I wanna fix it. Now, this is an area that I think most detailers don't think about, but it's a huge area that I would caution you in. If you're cleaning a nasty interior, specifically door panels and door jambs, a lot of times you'll wanna kind of soak that area in product. Not necessarily soaking the door panels in product, but you're using a lot of product. You're spraying a lot of product. For example, something like Super Clean. It's very effective on door jambs and you can use a lot of it. Well, what happens when we get overspray on the edges of the outer part of the door is that you're not even thinking about it. You're not even noticing it or cleaning that part yet. You're still on the interior. So you do the entire interior detail with a little bit of overspray around the lip of the exterior of those doors, and you can actually see it when the paint is clean and the detail is done. You've got some chemical burn on those small lips. Now here's another area this happens that I think people don't think about. When you are extracting the edges of carpets, oftentimes you're spraying that cleaner directly onto the carpet. Sometimes you're using Super Clean for carpets. It can be a very effective carpet cleaner with really dirty carpets if you want to take out kind of the grunt work first and then get a more specific cleaner. I often use it in that sort of application if I'm dealing with a nasty interior. But if I'm spraying that Super Clean, even diluted 5:1, straight up onto the edges of that carpet, what I always get is overspray on the lower rocker panels where the paint lies beneath the door. So I've got the door open, but I've got a lower rocker panel underneath the door that's still there because it's just part of the body of the car, and I'm getting overspray on that. While yes, the customer doesn't always notice a chemical burn in that kind of lower area, I of course notice it, and I want to make sure that I'm not doing that. Covering it with a microfiber towel or even a beach towel is a great way to avoid that. And the last area that I would highlight this problem is simply if you're dealing with hot paint where the chemical flashes relatively quickly. Even if you wipe off the chemical immediately, this is an area where you can immediately see the stain. Again, most of the time this is darker, subtly oxidized, older paint, but I'm telling you, even if it was on the paint for 2 seconds or less, it is going to be seen and you will have to polish it out. The issue with polishing out a stain like that is that you obviously see the polished area of the paint afterwards because the rest is subtly oxidized, and it becomes obviously oxidized when it stands in contrast to a small 2x2 panel of the paint that's been polished. And so you find yourself having a whole new set of problems, which is, do I polish all the paint or do I just leave it and it looks weird because this is shiny and this isn't? So guys, like I said, there's a couple products I suggest to replace a product like Super Clean that I will hook up in the YouTube description box below that's far safer for areas like this, and I'll also offer some dilution ratios that I think will be helpful to you. And if you haven't registered for the live training on May 11th that I'm hosting to teach you guys, like I said, how to scale to 6 figures using ceramic coatings, that link is in the YouTube description box as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you in the next video.